Yesterday we played for you an ad by a guy, Pat Davis. Pat Davis is running for where is he running now?
Albuquerque in New Mexico.
Yeah, in New Mexico, right, exactly. And he underfunded, running a Democratic primary, wanted to make a bit of a splash, and he had the ad where he basically said, well, not basically said, he said, F the NRA, and he didn't say F. And apparently this ad has to run, because it's a political ad, has to run without being censored on Arizona television. Good for him. And the ad appears to be incredibly effective, because here's a guy who did not have funding, could not get media coverage, obviously had a specific message. He is a former cop, but also serious progressive bona fides. And look, we played the ad, and the ad apparently got him booked on Fox TV, Fox News. And here is Tucker Carlson, just absolutely amazed about this ad.
Pat Davis joins us tonight from New Mexico. Pat, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Tucker.
So that's the ad, F the NRA? Kind of moronic, no?
That's it, just 15 seconds, but it got a whole lot of attention and started a new conversation about guns, and I'm grateful for that.
But doesn't it degrade you? I mean, you use the F word in an ad. I mean, if you have a position, state it, but F the NRA? I mean, come on.
Well, Tucker, I mean, look, being polite, it hasn't made our schools any safer. It hasn't protected police officers like I used to be. If a cuss word on TV offends you more than pictures of dead children in Parkland or Newtown, then your priorities are all wrong. I was a cop when the assault weapons ban was in place.
But it's not either or. Hold on, wait, so I don't care if you were a cop or not. Wait, hold on, wait, let me ask you a question. It's not an either or. Sure. It's not that I'm so offended. Politeness doesn't work. Do you think rudeness will? Is rudeness going to save lives, do you think?
Rudeness.
Well, as we were looking to make this ad, we kept coming up with the same idea, and every ad idea we came up with to talk about this issue looked like somebody else's. And those had not worked. Clearly, this got the NRA's attention, and it has started a new conversation, both amongst candidates running for office about how we organize and take back Congress and put new leaders there to take on gun control, but also how we stand up to the NRA. I mean, we know what works. 50% of NRA members
No, it's sort of a conversation about how embarrassing you are.
Let's now here. So this is what's so funny about this. Tucker is sitting there. He's talking to a cop. He is desperately trying to figure out how he was going to do this. I mean, because even some of Tucker's audience, some probably pick up on the irony of Tucker Carlson poo-pooing this guy for saying the F word in an ad, as opposed to the president of the United States, right? The idea that Tucker Carlson's never said that word before. His virgin ears have never heard the word F before. And so he's going on. And now, incidentally, did you not know that Tucker Carlson is one of those guys who blindfolded can reassemble his AR-15? Yeah, no, he's he's not staffed with a bunch of people who look up technical details of guns in some way.
Isn't it rude?
This is stuff he knows off the top of his head.
Here in New Mexico, you can go to a parking lot or go on the internet, buy an assault weapon, an AR-15, and buy a legally available add-on like a bump stock that allows you to replicate exactly what happened in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas shooter could shoot 600
wait, hold on,
rounds
wait. Are you're saying an AR-15 can shoot 150 rounds in 15 seconds? So would it have a 150 round magazine? Hold on, let me ask you, let's be specific. That's your ad. What would that magazine look like, the 150 round magazine?
Exactly like the magazines that Las Vegas police officers pulled out of that hotel room. They had 50 and 100 round magazines, and that weapon was capable.
Oh.
No,
and
50
so you
and
can
100
fire.
round magazines.
It is physically possible to fire. It's not. I mean, these are rhetorical questions. You don't know what you're talking about. And I know that you were a police officer. You claim to have been.
Pause it for 1 second. Yeah. Police officer. When was the last time you think Tucker Carlson ever said the words police officer? Oh, big police officer.
What do you think? After police.
You're a big police officer.
NWA Tucker Carlson.
NWA Tucker Carlson.
I mean, it's quite clear. Like, if you start to realize, like, Tucker Carlson's audience doesn't even like tune in to see him win an argument. They just tune in to see him argue. That's it. Just to see what he's willing to do. I mean, the irony of all of this is like it is so debasing to Tucker because it is so inconsistent. Let's play just a little bit more because it's worth watching Tucker just get really flustered and frustrated by this guy because. I got to say, as a candidate, this guy is staying on message, and Tucker's trying to pull him off.
Questions. You don't know what you're talking about. And I know that you were a police officer. You claim to have been. No AR-15 can fire 150 rounds in 15 seconds. That's untrue. And if you believe it is true, then you're not qualified to have a conversation about guns. People are laughing at you because you are ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. No, that's just untrue.
We take exactly the word of the police officers in Las Vegas, who I trust, who ran into that room to save people down below and found the weapons that were modified with bump stocks that would allow them to do that.
So they say an AR-15 can shoot. What do you think would happen to the barrel in 15 seconds if you put 150 rounds? It would melt. So I guess my point is, if you're going to take on the NRA and be Mr. Tough, I was a cop guy, maybe you should know what you're talking about, but you don't. You're putting something on television that's demonstrably wrong, that's physically impossible, and all of your voters are like, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. He was a cop. But you don't know. So maybe you should apologize for it.
I'm not apologizing for taking on the NRA. I'm just trying to. Doing it.
Oh, okay. I think you should apologize for saying something that's factually untrue.
Have not changed the conversation. We need new folks to take over.
Yeah, that's why I'm not being polite. I'm trying to get a real conversation going here.
Pause it. So wait a second. We started off with Tucker Carlson saying, why do you have to be so rude in your ad? And now we're ending with Tucker saying, like, I don't have to be polite to have a conversation. I want to have a real conversation, right? I want to have a real conversation. I want this to be genuine and authentic. So let's just both start swearing. Wait, no, that's why I had you on the show.
Let's drop the social norm.
You don't know what you're talking about, so maybe you shouldn't be in a position to make decisions because you don't understand the issue. Because you just told me with a straight face that an AR-15 can fire 150 rounds in 15 seconds. Ooh, surprise, it can't. So maybe you should admit that and move on to something you understand. Would you do that?
Tucker, this is exactly the type of arguments that don't get us where we need to be. We need new leaders in Congress.
Oh, it's not like F the NRA. That's the kind of argument we need. Oh, I thought politeness didn't work, tough guy.
Politeness is not working so far. If you woke up on Mother's Day and don't have your kid anymore,
you know what works? Actually, facts work. Why don't you get some facts? Oh, Pat, do you like this new mode of communication we have? F the NRA, Pat.
It'd be great to have
tough guy.
It'd be great
Learn
to have
something
a
about guns and get back to me. Interview over. Yeah, because you don't know what you're talking about.
I think he went a little overkill on that one. No, because Tucker's more effective when he gets the other person all freaked out, and he's kind of like, well, I'm just asking questions. But he got so I don't know what he got threatened by something in that interview.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, the repeating the tough guy because you know what? I mean, for all the things that Tucker Carlson must feel about himself, I have a feeling being the tough guy probably not high on the list.
Just because you could literally break me in half doesn't mean you're the tough guy.
He's so annoying.
I know facts about guns because I was up last night on my BlackBerry.
I will say that I think it was probably too reserved of the candidate not to say, like,
he needed to get a little more animated.
Like I say, I'm a police officer. When you've had a gun flash in your face, Tucker, why don't you tell me about this?
Yeah, listen, you puffy-faced jackass. I've actually dealt with these things and care about the consequences of them while you bloviate on TV and pretend you know something about guns. That would work. But yeah, that's Tucker's best move is like, I have a professor with no media training and she's going to defend a dumb student op-ed from Oberlin.
Right.
And I'm going to make her look like an idiot. Yeah. That's his zone.
Not the
Don't go after.
Guy.
Yeah, please. Oh yeah, all right, tough guy. It's so funny.
Well, it's also funny too because this guy was one of the most mild-mannered people I've ever seen on television. I mean,
he was like, well, I don't know that I'm a tough guy. I was a police officer and have firearm training.
Exactly.
My concern, Tucker, is just the wanton murder of children. Oh, okay, tough guy. You're scared. You're upset about innocent kids dying.
That is one of those interviews where you really get the sense that Tucker went and yelled at the producers. Like, next time, get me somebody who's live, okay? Not somebody who's just going to sit there and make me look like the psycho.
Right.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking to. Oh, just a reminder, folks. This program.